Oh my gosh, I'm already having the weirdest day. It's only like 2:15 with 2:20. I would have even been cooler if it was 2:22, but 2:20 is still cool. But 2:23, it always goes, I always see 2:22 to 2:23 all the time. Like, it's so, I have such a weird thing with the numbers, and I is a new thing too. In my spirituality, I feel like the numbers, that became more like when I started seeing 11, 11, 11, 11 all the time. And then it just kept expanding. Once they got my attention with the numbers, then it started doing a lot of communication with the numbers. And, but before that, it's always just been all of the talking in my head, you know. And that's the thing, is like, people, when I say talk, there's a lot of talking. Just think how much you got of thoughts going all the time, and how much of that is not you. It's like you have things going all the time. There's a lot going on out in the universe. It's your mind. You trap it in this three-dimensional reality. So, and in this three-dimensional reality, what lies to you is, you know, the spiritual stuff isn't real. People who hear voices are crazy. And I started some more shit on the schizophrenia. But anyways, hold on a second. Now I'm kind of just scattered already. Hold on. As I woke up and I was laying in my bed, and I was just like laying there wide awake. And, you know, I don't even know. I was just laying there for so long. I was like, fuck, I'm just getting up. And so I came out. It was like 1:15. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, okay, don't go with the time. Don't go with the time. Go with how you feel. Don't go with any of this stuff. Go with how you feel. You feel fine. So I got up, came out here. Stella was in there snoozing away. I almost even stepped on her. It's like, oh. So I thought she was out here. It's one of those things. It's weird. So I was out, and I was like, man, I can, like, the dream world thing, but it's like, it's not like going into dreams like before. Like, this is different. Like, I'm sure most people have noticed, like, these things that are happening different in your dreams. It's like our state of consciousness is changing. It's not like we need the same kind of dreams as we needed before, but it's a communication, and it's like a tool for understanding. And so it is, it's like necessary. That's what I hear in my head. So hold on. Sometimes I'll hear stuff in my head and I'll think, well, that's weird. That's why I said sometimes I'll start arguing back and forth. It's just like, so some of the things I'll think like, what? So I'll be like, it's weird. It's like the whole thing going on up there, where there's like somebody questioning this stuff, the information, it's weird. Like, it's so weird when you think about how, well, I don't know, mine works different than other people's apparently, or than, I mean, not different than every single person, but just different than the majority of people, because I don't run into people who like think like me. Fuck, I definitely don't. And so okay, let me think for a second. Okay, so I feel bad because I feel like I'm gonna really disappoint me 23 today. Bill, and this was funny. This was a funny thing in my morning, because so I'm sitting here going back and forth, you know, when I was laying in bed, I was thinking, okay, so I'm gonna go live, and what I'll talk about. I was like, maybe I should write it down. Maybe then I won't get stuck, because I start thinking, oh, I'm taking too long. And I have no concept of time. It could be 2 seconds. I'm so weirded out about time lately. Like, things do not match. It is weird. And, but, you know, I went through that when I first got my brain injury. So it's still familiar. So I don't feel so, like, weirded out. Like, I'm sure there's some people who just feel very, like, you know, if time is a structure that holds you together, and it starts falling apart and it's not making sense, then it's going to feel like your life's falling apart. So it's, you know, it's just all these parts of these process of you coming into yourself, of, you know, whatever it is. If time is falling apart and it's making you feel like your life's falling apart, and people aren't keeping schedules, because time's off. So, but anyways, so I was reading the comments, and I don't get notifications, and they're doing something weird. It's really weird how all these messages I keep getting, how I'm popping up for all these people, but my account's just sitting there. It's not doing, like, the views will go up, but as soon as it went over 1,000, it's weird because it went over 1,000, and it used to be just a 2-digit thing. It used to be like 1 point something, and then it was going up, and then it got to, like, it said 1.7, and then all of a sudden it switched, and then it started going 1.07, and I started going, when did they start counting it like that? Like, that is so weird. It was really putting me, like, it was really messing with my mind. But whatever, since it, because that's a thing to them, and they haven't notified me at all. And that's a weird thing. So there's some weird stuff going on with my account. I know that. But so I don't get notifications of comments. Even when it gives me notifications, it doesn't give me all of them. And so out of all of the followers that there is, I've been probably notified of 40 of them. Like, I just don't get notifications for some reason. They just send me like 1 out of every 100 or something. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm sure it's not that much. But it's just weird because whenever I'll go on to answer one, I always find other comments from other people that I know, you know. And so, you know, I'll go down when I'll see a comment and I'll see some other ones. I'll go down and see if I see some I haven't seen. But yeah, if you comment on an old one, it's until they notify me of a lot of them, I just have no idea. So anyways, but like I've said, if you're trying to say something, just, you gotta, don't feel embarrassed if you have to say something a bunch of times. Just don't tell me. It's not like I'm ignoring it. Just don't notify me. I just have to run across it. Kind of like people have to run across my videos. Anyways, in one of the videos, the people were saying they had just run across it. They were saying that it's not coming up in the same place. And see, it wasn't coming up at all for me. One of them still isn't even up. It took all night. It took all day yesterday. And then I don't know what time. Well, it hasn't been all night yet. I don't know what time it ever went on. But the other one is still showing that it's still downloading to me. And so, I don't know. I thought that part was weird. And then, because usually as soon as it goes on, it goes on my account and YouTube at the same time. So something was different with that because people were watching the video and it was still showing me that it was downloading. And so I was getting comments on that one. And I could see some of the comments, but that was very confusing too. Because when I was first trying to figure it out and I turned it on, and I was like, fuck, I don't even know how this works. And so I had turned it off, and that one went on. It was like a 60-second video or something. So I took that one off because I thought, well, this one's confusing, because this one was like, well, I thought it's going to seem like I didn't do a live. And so the live ones are in a completely different area. They don't go under the same thing with the videos, I guess. You have to go into another section that says live, and then you can find the videos. And so someone was saying that they almost didn't even see that there was a video. And so I was like, well, that makes it more confusing, especially with all the people trying to come onto the thing. So far, my feedback is me, 23 Bill, and this other person, and he likes it because the video, apparently as soon as the live finishes, it's on for other people. People could see it even though it's not downloaded. And so he liked that because he didn't have to wait. The video was ready in the morning when he was. And and then I did one later in the afternoon to see, you know, if that was like more people wanted to come. But it was still both times. It was like, I think like 5 to 10 people. And sitting there listening, I guess. And then, like, I don't know. Oh, maybe that's where the comments were from. Maybe they went on that part. Like, I don't know. I know I just don't get notifications of it. And so then the video, anyways, he said he liked that part. But then the other person said it was harder to find the video, especially if you don't, you know, if you're just going into videos to look and see what my video library is or whatever, that's a completely different section. It won't come up there. And so I was like, well, definitely this morning. Then I had to do it regular so that some people would know if they were looking for a video yesterday and didn't find it, it's in the live part. But also, you know, if people like it or not. The only other person, like I said, was Me23, who said that he did like it because it was available faster. But so out of the two things, so I was thinking, oh gosh, he's gonna be disappointed this morning because I'm not gonna do a live, and so then he's gonna be wondering where it's at. He'll probably start messaging me. And then so I went on to the TikTok, because yesterday he messaged me to let me know he was real, because it was kind of tripping me out because he was saying stuff and he was the only one who was saying feedback. And I was like, oh man, like they put people into account, like go in and, you know, be all friendly to these people, you know, like become friendly with the person, and then get them to do something like go on live. Oh, come on, go live. Because like on TikTok, like I don't know on YouTube, it wasn't as much people on there. And TikTok is a whole live thing where people just go on lives. They just go, but they have it really heavily policed by the TikTok troll people. And they go in and attack people, especially on certain topics and stuff. They go in and attack. So I was like, man, maybe this is somebody who is just trying to sabotage my account. I don't fucking know. I don't even know if he's real. Like, I don't know who's real and who's not real. And so he went on TikTok and started a TikTok, or he had an old one or whatever, but he went on there and to show me he was a real person. And I was still like, you know, I mean, I talk to people all the time on TikTok and I still don't know that they're real. I mean, especially some of the things that they say and stuff, where it's like, man, this person isn't real. And they'll look like they have an account, but it's fake. So, you know, it's like, that's not proof. Just to have an account, that's not proof. And so this morning when I went on there and I saw, I was going back, I was like, oh, I gotta go see what his name is so I can refer to him by his name. And then when I went on there, I clicked on his thing, and then I saw he had one video. Before I even clicked on it, I said, in my head, I keep hearing things. I know so much stuff right before it happens is so weird. Everything is like, it's like knowing something before it happens all the time. And, but I knew he was going to be, this video was going to be just to me, to tell me he was real. And so then when it was, it started cracking me up. But anyways, I was really glad because, you know, sometimes when somebody just says words, they can come out in so many different ways, you know. It's all by how we're programmed, really. And so sometimes, you know, Bill would be saying stuff and then I would be like, what in the hell is this guy, like some crusty old man? Is he just like really, like I couldn't figure, you know what, because sometimes I would think he was just like a crusty old man or something. So then when I saw the video, now I'm glad, because now I see the personality. I kind of a silly personality. And so I like to get to see, because then when you see the person and they say this stuff, then you hear it through them. Like now I can see his face and his like attitude and stuff, which gives it a different feel than just the stale words that come out. Because all the emojis in the world can't help. Like, to me, LOL is like condescending or something, like, but some people, like, they use it all the time. And it's just, I've always been like, so then if somebody says that to me, like, I can take it as like, what are you trying to say? Like, you know, because him and I were kind of arguing back and forth yesterday over the live thing, because I was saying it's different, because no matter what, the screen's different, the lighting was different. You have things going across the screen, you have stuff popping up. It's very distracting. And then you have it on your mind, like, you know, there's somebody sitting there watching you, and so it's almost like, well, I need to entertain you. I don't know, because this is like, it isn't different. Like, I don't know, it's weird. So anyways, I really thought that I got a kick out of that video, because I wasn't expecting that this morning. I was just going on to see, because I didn't see it yesterday. I don't even know what was going on yesterday, but I'm telling you, I'm like in a dream. That's what it feels like again. It's like the same thing after I got my brain injury. I get confirmation. And then the same, see this part, like, if I was live, I'd be sitting there and it would get me more worried. And then I'd go deeper into not being able to, like, get further away from the thought, because my worry replaces it. And when I'm doing this, and I can just relax more, and I don't think about, like, well, I'm wasting time. Like, you could literally fast forward it too when I start talking again. Like, so, and, you know, I mean, I don't know how many people even listen and finish the videos. And maybe I'm just way too all over the place for a lot of people. One person, they said, exactly what is it you talk about? So, because, you know, my perspective is different from a lot of other people's. So when I started having my awakening, which started like 2016, 2017 or whatever, and I went out, you know, and I was learning new spiritual stuff that I didn't know about, like, you know, things like Reiki and, I don't know, meditation, yoga, just different things like that. And so I was doing that kind of stuff. And but when I would go in and I would listen to the videos, I kept thinking, what is this person talking about? Like, they kept saying things where it was like, this isn't right. This isn't right, on spiritual stuff, on reincarnation and stuff. And so I was like, ugh, it was really making me feel like I needed to go out and put out other perspectives, say other things, so people had more to draw from than just this stuff that seemed like people were saying the wrong things to me. And so it wasn't accurate to me at all. And so I wanted to go do my own. And then it was like so insecure. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm so insecure, I can do this. And, you know, I just overthought every single thing in the video. And so those ones never went on. And then a couple years later, where, you know, I have my journals through all this part of my awakening. I don't remember when I started writing about it, but I have a whole bunch of journals through it. And then, so I thought, well, I'll just write a book about healing and stuff, because all mine is about healing and for my awakening. And then, so then I thought, well, I'll just write a book. But then my guides, which I have said a million times, is my guidance is different than most people's. Most people apparently don't even understand or acknowledge they have guides. And then other people like have to go into meditation or whatever. And then, but people are starting to get better in their communication. More people are starting to have like things pop in their head and getting downloads and all that stuff. So people are beginning to get more into it. But that has been my whole life. Ever since I was 3, like I've told the story a zillion times, is when I started hearing them talking to me, and then they've just been talking ever since. You know, explaining things, telling me things my whole life, but it caused problems because, you know, well, nobody believes a kid when I say weird things that don't match what we're told. And so that whole thing was always a thing. And at the time, because I was at home with my mom, and she was super religious, they were telling me all the times about things about, you know, I knew religion was bullshit. And so I left the church, you know, I stopped, you know, I'm not a Christian, you know. It wasn't like when you say I left the church, it is a whole thing where, like I've said, people would be like, you know, what are you? Where do you go to church? And it just was a part of our program, an expectation of what they wanted us to be, because they could control us through the church. They could control us through fear, through indoctrination. They've always used every way that they can through the church, through the schools, but they needed to get people into them. You know, that's the thing. They needed to get people into their indoctrination camps. And speaking of fucking camps, god damn, what's going on in New York? Fuck. I swear to God. Well, fuck. Any of these big cities, I swear to God. But you gotta listen to your own soul. Like my soul, is fucking alarm sirens have been going. It's like, no fucking way. Even where I'm at, it's like, fuck. I mean, they just come in and, you know, torch this whole little thing real quick. And, you know, which makes total sense for them to do it that way. So to me, it's like, oh, anything could happen at any moment. And so it's not like, but to me, if you're in the bigger cities, like, fuck, just figure some shit. Like this, I can sit here and, you know, go into fear and think, well, you know, I mean, the likelihood is that they're going to torch us or drown us or something. They've already got us isolated. I'm sure they've got shit getting set up. You know, I mean, they're out here fucking just doing, like, why in the world are they out there with those guys, now what are they called again, with the things, and they stand across from each other with the little cameras and shit? Like, this is already an established neighborhood. What the fuck are you doing? Like, figuring out, okay, well, if they're making the plan of how, and yesterday when I went out, oh yeah, because I drove, because I was like, how did I see all that? Yeah, because I drove into town. And yesterday when I was out working in the yard, I was just getting showered. It was so noisy. It was tripping me out because I kept looking up, looking around, and it was all the pine needles falling and falling and falling and falling. My whole ground is just covered again. And it's orange. These aren't green. These are fucking orange. These are dead pine needles. And my whole fucking yard, again, is so thick with them. And so when I drove, I saw so many trees. Oh my God, this one person's yard, they have they have that same thing with those tall fence trees, only theirs are lower, and they've got them across their whole front of their yard. All of them are dead but 2, and the tree right behind it, looks like a pear tree or something like that, is dead right behind it. And so it's like a spray. But I was looking at all the things. Everything is a spray. It's like it goes out and sprays out, and it hits different parts of the tree, and it all hits on the outside of the things. Like, to me, it's, but, you know, I look at life through a different lens than the people around me. But, you know, again, it seems like they're just setting up something. I mean, they're spraying something. It's, you know, causing, but I don't understand, you know, going into fall, you know, and now would be a fire. I mean, it's so cold here too. Fuck, it's cold. So I don't know. Killing the trees and making them unstable works their benefit in a flood. And I don't know if any more dams, you know, I can't imagine that they could raise the water high enough here, but fuck, what they did in Libya, god damn. And they did it at night. They're fucking always doing this, like what I say. Always they do this shit at night. They'll come in and they'll wake people up and tell them they have to evacuate right now. I did have my bags all packed, you know, but then when I went on that trip, I had to start. So now I've kind of unpacked my stuff. I still have stuff kind of packed. But, you know, I mean, just don't know what the hell they're going to fucking do. I swear to God. This gets so fucking old. But New York, oh, yeah, it's fucking, they've got the governor or mayor or whatever the hell this crazy lady is. I think it's the mayor, because what's his fucking crazy? They're all going down, and then they just replace them with more crazy people. And then, you know, is this a crazy person to bring it all to the surface, or is this shit going to go down and then they're going to get arrested for all these crimes against humanity? Like, but they've got a thing now where they can just come to your house and take you to their new camps. And they've got so many men coming in there, like, for all these immigrant guys are being dumped there. Tons and tons and tons. Not families. No, just all these certain age men are all going in there. And you know what's annoying, too? I know it's all part of the show and whatnot, but they give all these people expensive phones. They give them a backpack full of supplies. They give them $2,000 or like a gift card or something with $2,200 on it. And then they get that card recharged every month or something. And I mean, they don't do that treatment to the vets. Like, there is a video going around where there was a young, handsome, dark-skinned guy, vet, and he was having problems because he's disabled from his, what they did to him in the war. And so he has a problem with his holding it or something. I'm not sure, but he's got a whole thing going on. And they were messing with him, these cops, and they wouldn't let him go to the bathroom or something, to the point where he pissed himself. And so then, I guess they let him go. And then the video that you see is the cops. Same thing with this fucking one with the Seattle one. God damn. That's disgusting, that Seattle cop. This was just as disgusting. And this woman cop is sitting there laughing. She just keeps laughing about the guy and saying stuff to the other cops. And they close in, you know, and they're just talking shit on this guy who is a disabled vet, a young one at that. It's like, God damn, they are fucking robots. I swear to God. They are just, they could be human, but they're like so programmed. Like, to be so, I don't know. They've got to cut them off kind of from their humanity so that they can put us under attack, you know? Because how do you do that? Look, I can't even stand to be mean to somebody. Like, I couldn't go around and do that shit. These people are cut off from their own humanity or something. And then they just show it because this dark side, you know, is being revealed of people. That Seattle cop sitting there laughing. Oh my God, laughing after he just fucking murdered somebody and then putting it about money. Oh my gosh. And, you know, I don't know how they cash value us, but a 26-year-old dark-skinned girl is $11,000. Like, fuck. I'm seriously, to me, it really made me think, so do you go up, and then like when you are 35, 40, they think you're a peak, you know, you're going to go out there, you're going to make it, you're going to buy everything. And then what, like by the time you're 45, 47, you're just beat down, sick of it, you're just in debt, you know, so then your price starts declining. Then by the time you're 50, you're just trying to strap some money away, just try and get some retirement going. And your money, you're getting close to retirement now. So now your value is starting to go up, because if they take you out now, then, you know, you're not going to go on Social Security. Once you get on Social Security, I'm sure your value is like double. Or like, hell yeah, got rid of another one of those suckers, blood suckers. Like anything you take from these hoarders, these money hoarders, is like too much. Like, how dare you? It's so weird. I'm going to sit up here on my throne of gold and, you know, tell you guys that it's too much. Those crumbs that you asked for is too much. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait for these tables to flip upside down. God, it's going to be so beautiful. We're going to be in their position. They're going to be in our position. And it's going to be great for us. You know, it's vengeance really is that part where the justice is, the scales of justice. Oh, that's a big part of this thing on the 22nd, 23rd thing. So we're going into this Libya is so sad. Libra. We're going into this, the time of Libra, where everything is going to balance. And every single crash, economic crash, has happened during this season. And then it's going to go into Scorpio, which is going to be the battle of power, which is like the collapse of the government. So that is how they're like relaying all this stuff, is to start going. So in this next season, so and something, because it's the equinox or something, or some kind of moon thing or something, is going to happen like the 22nd or 23rd. So it's all this astrology things too. But there's other things too, because there's other people who aren't talking about astrology, talking about 22, 20. I think it is people out of the movies, all sorts of different things. But so if shit starts going down on the 22nd or 23rd, God, I hope so. And it really is finally for the financial collapse. Fuck, I hope so. You know, just the fact that how these vultures just come in and they come up and start taking pictures of your house. And, you know, and some realtors do that anyways as comp, so they can compare it to show people. And so, but whatever, it's so crazy. As soon as you're not paying, that the bank would start telling, I'm sure the HOA knows. And I'm fighting against that too. I haven't paid them in 2 years. Same thing. That is a start of where they start in the small parts of the community. It's all of this control. And the HOA is a part of it. This is like, they should not have any control. We are as free as they are. And for them to tell us rules, and then for us to follow the rules, and then for them to give us fines and taxes and all this shit, it's absurd. And so, you know, I don't look at them as better than me. They're criminal to me. They're money hoarders and control freaks. And besides the fact they're sicko, you know, bloodsuckers, or weirdos. So, anyways, now I am all over the place. Because, did I finish saying that about... Oh, yeah. Okay. So about if that was going to be the month. And there's, so October 4th. Okay. So October 4th is this big thing where they're supposed to do this this emergency broadcast on everybody's phone for some absurd reason. But it's curious how it's like, why is it that date? Like, it's weird. And then why wouldn't they just do it? Like, I don't know. The whole thing is weird. And then the 8th, I guess the governor of, or the mayor or something of Maui now has said that they're going to have tourists come back. I thought the tourists were already there. It's another strange thing. Like, none of these videos ever match. You see all these videos of people showing the beaches where the people are just sitting out there enjoying their vacation, and then turn it and show like the devastation right there. You see videos of people out in the parks being arrested, and their housing things taken down, all of the resources being taken, all that stuff, all these videos of all that stuff going on. And then they, they won't let the people into their own neighborhood, nothing. And then they're arresting them. They're shipping them off of the land, and which all makes sense when you're stealing the land, because it's their ancestral land. Like, they have all the rights to the land, not the people who have invaded it. And so then, so them to move them off makes sense. But then all of a sudden this video now is saying that the people have all been being put up in the hotels, and the hotels, then how are there people being arrested in the parks? You know, if the hotels, is there some hotels that are putting some people up? Like, I don't even know what is going on. But they, now they're going to kick the people out of the hotels so that they can let the guests back in on October 8th. So now they're going to make everybody homeless. So now there's a guy who is putting up all these temporary housing. Like, he's trying to put up a bunch of sheds for people to have shelter. And so he's asking for people to put money onto Home Depot or whatever cards, so he can go get these things, because he's only got a couple weeks to get all these built for all these people, because all these people are about to be displaced. So it's so confusing. All this different stuff, all the different things that you hear are supposed to be in like the same neighborhood. And I mean, it's so weird anyways, how, the kids are all just missing from all these people who like to steal the kids and think this is the best ones. And then the parents, I really, really think that there's lots and lots of like what's in Libya. I think it's way more. And I guess apparently the same storm that hit Libya hit Greece, and only 15 are dead. In Libya, it's way, way more. Like 5,000, I think, are dead, and 10,000 more missing. But all those numbers always go up and up and up. One guy said he had 30 family members dead. So how many, are people who aren't, a whole family is wiped out, and there's nobody there to claim them? Because a lot of people, like in America, we live different than in a lot of other countries. A lot of other countries, they have like multi-generational homes. And not even just multi-generational, they'll have, the siblings and their families. They all have a combined housing situation. And, I don't know if it's like as the village mentality, it's just the cultural difference or whatever. In America, everybody's just like tries to get away from their families, move as far away as possible. In other places, though, a lot of places, they live all together. And so, how many of these whole big families are wiped out and nobody's even claiming them as being missing until they go in and start going through, and then you don't even know. There's so many places that are having such devastation. It's just, this is just the end of, this is how it's just going to be. The end of the end. Somebody had said too that they were having Ascension symptoms or something like that. Confirmation. And then, this is the thing about the Ascension symptoms. So to me, if you're having Ascension symptoms, like dizzy and like body aches and stuff like that, a lot of that, it can be your body. Like, our bodies are changing. Something is changing. Even though our bodies aren't real, there is things happening. But there's so much because of the chemicals and stuff. So I just don't think you can say all this stuff is just like ascension symptoms. But some of the things like anxiety and headaches, the GI symptoms, the aches and pains and all that stuff. But the other things like the stomach, and but the stomach can also be several things. This is where you got to really tune into your body. But definitely the anxiety and headaches and stuff, because as things are changing, this is why I think mass amounts of people leave, because it's during this ascension time, and it is harder, it's more uncomfortable. The vibration on the planet is changing, and it is there's just so many things about it, because you have people who were, like huge groups of people who will be leaving, and a lot of those groups came just to go full circle. A lot of people, this isn't their home planets. Like, there's all sorts of things why people are leaving and not going through the whole thing. And it's not for every single person. It is the people, to me, the people who are going through the whole thing. Like, I know all these people are like the chosen. To me, if you are referring to yourself as the chosen, it means you chose yourself. You chose you. So yeah, you're chosen. You're chosen by you. You are the God who chose you. You chose to start focusing on you, your health, your emotional, your spirit, whatever it is. You chose you. There's not, a person who's sitting up there who's pointing out, oh, okay, they did good. Everything is destined. There is not like this, nothing is happening by accident. You're not just all of a sudden doing something you weren't going to do. And so it is, but if you're thinking of yourself as chosen, just keep in mind, it's you chose you. And because these people get so in their ego about the God Almighty has chosen them to awaken at this time. It's like, okay, well, God Almighty then is choosing you to start facing your ego. And and then the ascension symptoms is like, so as this vibration is changing, because the people who are here to go through the whole thing, to go through all of this trauma, all through the healing, go through all the stuff, that is bringing forth an entire history to a new civilization. So that is the seeders. So I see it as we are the seeders, the people who are here to go through the experience and learn and grow from, because it's hard. This part already is hard. And there's so many people who haven't even gotten into some of the hard shit yet. It's hard. And yesterday too, that same person who I had seen, who, they said they set their crystals out and they were expecting this healing to happen overnight. And then what it did was bring up stuff from their past, which didn't make any sense to them. It's like, and then I saw another video that she did later, and she said, all her anxiety that she's having, if you're having anxiety, it's from the collective, it's not from you. Don't just listen to people say that kind of stuff. Like, these are the kind of people to me who are out there who shouldn't, they still need to be learning. They don't need to be teaching. Yeah, they can share about their journey about healing, but to tell a bunch of people about spirituality, this is what drove me in the beginning to start my channel thing, was just this misrepresentation of shit. Because, like I said, when I stopped saying I was a Christian, when I started saying I'm not a Christian, went against the church, went against God Almighty himself. And, that was a big thing. was a big thing. I mean, that one guy who I saw doing that video the other day, I was like practically in tears to say it. And he's a grown-ass man, and it's during this huge spiritual awakening. I was doing it whenever he was going to church. I was like, no, that's not right, no. But I had these people telling me and talking to me, and I trusted them always over anything else. And so the, you know, I back then when it was talking about religion and stuff, you know, nobody would listen to me. You know, I was telling people about aliens and all that stuff. Nobody would listen. I was trying to tell all sorts of things. Nobody would listen. And I would just get laughed at and told I was crazy by groups of people. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's probably people who are sitting here listening to me who have been participant in the group of people who laughed and, you know, made fun of somebody who was saying aliens were real, thinking like, you know, it's just a joke or something. Like, I'm being serious. And so, you know, I've just lived such a different life. I'm having that internal guidance, but I'm really skipping all over the place. Okay, so the frequency thing and all these people leaving. So the people who are here for doing the seeding, that's why I feel like you would know in your heart and soul that you are you're learning things, you're growing, you're expanding, you're seeing the future, you're seeing the possibilities, you're seeing, you know, that's what I would think, but I don't know. You know, everybody's got their own experience going on, so I'm not sure. But the future, the ones who see the future, the seeders, are the ones who carry forth the information that bring forth. It's like the creation of a whole new civilization, a whole new society. And it's bringing one out from the dust of everything that's left. There has to be some people who can see. And so, like the visual thing, it's like, it's really, it's cool. Like it's like a little movie. Like the people who don't see any hope and just feel lost, but the people who see it, you know, show them, and then they begin to see it. So I don't know, are the seeders just this one group? Does that have something to do with that number 144 and the frequency that certain people are tuned into that is the seeders? And that's why it's called the 144,000, because it has something to do with the frequency, but a frequency has to do with your understanding. Your understanding is all based on, you know, it's like all your incarnations, but it can be the types of incarnations, the lessons that you've learned, your openness and your ability to receive and understand and grow through other experiences, other people's experiences, your own empathy and compassion. So it has a lot of factors to each soul in their abilities of understanding and their like their intensity of who they are, based on the frequency thing. But you have like a set frequency, you know, whatever your frequency is. But then we're also in this containment that is its own frequency. So, because I've even thought some people who are raising their vibration, you know, can they become more uncomfortable and them leave because their vibration's too high to be in this density, and then them leave, and then they can come, you know, whatever their vibration is, then they can go to any reality that matches their vibration. But see, we've got beings that can come into this one. You can go lower, you can't go higher. You can't go out higher than your vibration. You have to stay where your vibration is. But as all these things are changing, I think that is why mass people are going to be leaving. Is it's very uncomfortable. It's not comfortable to be in a vibration that doesn't match you. And that's why I keep saying, especially if you're having these ascension symptoms like anxiety Anxiety is definitely you're holding something in. You're not letting something out. You need to face things. You need to see things. And it's going to be so much pressure inside of you until you release and let yourself see and feel and experience yourself, until you can actually witness and, acknowledge your own state of being. Because you're going to be super uncomfortable. You're going to be anxious. That can give you GI stuff, can give you headaches. So you're going to feel all of the Ascension symptoms. So it's because there's a whole group of people that, because she said this in the thing, there's a whole group of people that believe the planet is ascending. And apparently, as long as you keep some crystals by you and, I don't know, drink a lot of water, do some ayahuasca or something, then you're a part of it. So the planet's ascending and you're just riding the wave. That's what they think. And then you're just ascending with the planet. As long as you aren't doing anything as long as you keep your head buried in the sand and just focus on love and light, then the planet will take you with it. But that isn't how I see it. I don't see it like that. I see it as the planet is changing. Everything's changing. The planet, the seasons, the season of the planet, the cycles, the planet is rolling over because this part of her has been exposed for long and beaten down and beaten down. It's the same thing as like when you're laying in bed and you've been laying in the same position, you just roll over. So the landscape is like going to roll over to give us a fresh new look, to give us a fresh new space. And it's going to be, like America is going to be smaller. It's going to be more large islandy on some parts, it seems like, because the way the Mississippi is going to widen so much, it's going to separate the East and the West. And so in the East is going to be a lot smaller, but the West, because so much of the West Coast gets chewed off, it's going to be a lot smaller. So there's going to be a lot of water, and that is like a human kind of thing. Like we want to be near water. So there's going to be a lot of water, and I'm sure a lot of fresher water. Probably the ice wall is going to melt, and when all this shit goes down, and then the ice something with the water, because it was so cold, will change, and everything will go back to this perfect ecosystem. Like everything is going to work itself out. It's going to go into this new kind of the planet's going to go in, or the earth plane is going to go into this new state of being, kind of. And so we have to match that. And she's not going to do it for us, just like Jesus isn't going to come in and save you. Jesus isn't going to come do your work for you. You have to do the work for you. Just like you can't go out and, do a rain dance and expect that the gods will shine down on you. You have to figure things out for yourself. And which the water over here, something's going on with that water. Yesterday when I went to get water, I was like, fuck, I need to just get a bigger place. I need to get a well. I know what I need, but I'm just waiting for the universe to open that door for me. Show me where I'm going. It was like, which door, Bob? I want to see what door, something's going to happen. Something's going to give. I don't know what. And I don't know if it's going to be before winter. I'm getting ready for winter. You got to be getting ready. You got to be planning for the future. So I don't know. I feel like something's going to give. And I feel like this draw now to like, man, do I just like leave my place for the winter? Like I could come back if the weather was good, but at least if I'm on the other side of the pass, if anything goes down, then at least, what's the likelihood of things going down like right now? High. Bug. People have 30 people in their family dying at one time. God damn. That's fucked. So, that's a lot of fucking pain to process. God damn. So, but that is what is going on. You have got All this stuff that's happening so that you are triggered into healing yourself, to bringing up past wounds, past life wounds, stuff that you have been carrying around in your soul for a long time. Confirmation. So you have all these things that are inside of you that are like trapped, and you don't recognize it. You don't realize it because of this world. It isn't set up for you to come in and to heal. It is set up for you to do the opposite. It's like a slave place. They're just keep you focused on other things, not on what you could focus on to make yourself feel better. And so you everything is falling apart in this world to get you into this, so you have nothing. So you have to heal. You have to, everything is about all these triggers. Like there's so many different things. So everything has a story. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a meaning. Everything that everybody's going through. And so it isn't, everything is happening for you. Everything is happening, like losing your house in a storm, losing grandma and grandpa, all these things, as tragic and as horrible as they all seem, they are happening for you because it helps you to bring things up that are pain, that you hold on to, and so you can release it. But here in this place where people are easily distracted, they will do things to distract themselves from pain because they think like they shouldn't be feeling that they shouldn't think about things like that. They should, but you should be thinking about it. You need to be releasing it. You need to look at things. You don't need to carry around old baggage, something that fucking Uncle Joe said 25 years ago in passing that he doesn't even fucking remember at all, but it eats at you. And every time somebody even gives you any kind of the same kind of thing, you lose your goddamn mind over it. You got to release that shit. You got to forgive Uncle Joe for being such a, a twat. That's just the way it is. That is the hand you were dealt. You were dealt a hand for you to play through life. You are the one who has to make that hand work for you. You are the one who has to, become a better player with the hand that you're dealt. And so it's your successes. It's your consequences and it's your successes. And so you need to, what is that? It's like, is like champion yourself, and be proud of yourself. But this whole spiritual movement part of just ignore the things you don't like. See how that's like this 3D trapping. Ignore the stuff you don't like. Don't heal. Don't face things. Don't look at things. Just let this energy do it for you. And if you're feeling anxious, it's just because it's everybody else's anxiety. It's like, if you're feeling anxious, there's something in you trying to come out. If you are ignoring your own healing, you're going to become more and more uncomfortable. And this person in particular, I know because they have publicly put it out there. There's a lot of stuff, as they were, going through it, and this person really appreciates their labels. They use their labels like, I see people use their labels as a badge of honor or something. Your labels, your diagnoses, that is not stuff you want to hold on to. Your diagnoses, like, go look up what your diagnoses is. Go look up what your personality traits are that go with that diagnosis. Start trying to recognize those things inside of you. So whatever those traits are, you're quick to the trigger, you're manipulative, because you're trying to get people to do what you want. There's all sorts of things. Like, you just got to go in and read the ones. Fuck, I think like borderline and histrionic have like 20. Like, they really want to capture everybody in there. But they are, all personality traits are dysfunctions that are out of balance. So it's like you doing something, but it's totally out of balance. And it's out of balance because you've got old injuries, old pain. You're not looking at things in a balanced way. You're not seeing things clearly. So you take your diagnoses, you go look at the personality traits, you start putting them together with your problems, your personality, the things that people have said to you. And so you start figuring out your injuries, your weaknesses, and you start being aware of those. And so you start seeing, you start noticing your own patterns, recognize your own patterns of certain personalities, certain people, your own triggers. And you start seeing that because it all goes back to your pain, your trauma, and what you do to try and mask, or to try and, it's like giving yourself a crutch and a shield. It's like everybody does that, but in a kind of dysfunctional way. And so we need to put down our swords and our shields and all of that, because we don't need those. Those were things that we thought we needed because our society had become so toxic. So we're all going out, like ready for battle. And that isn't a productive way to continue a society. We have to get to, where we aren't judging one another. We aren't going out ready to fight, ready for battle all the time. But there's so much vulnerability in one's own self to make these changes. And so it's can be scary. You can feel overwhelmed. There's a big reason why people, just want the universe or Jesus or somebody to come in and do it. It's hard. It's hard to face yourself. It's hard to be all in the gray, and figure out that's them, this is me. But what is the relationship in between? Because you have triggers. You have things where you feel pushed by this person and pushed by that person. But that is where you got to become sure of yourself, of your own boundaries and stuff, of who you are, what you're willing to give, what you're not willing to give, and to get yourself to stop trying to get things from other people. That's a big one. People have all these dysfunctional ways of trying to get things from other people. And it's not because something's wrong with us all. Something's just wrong with us all. And our society has just become very handicapped. And so we have to pull back from that. And so then when we can start seeing our own manipulation, our own dysfunction, and then when we can become aware of it and catch ourselves, it's not like you can just all of a sudden, just because you're going to switch just like that. No, once you know and catch yourself, you're going to become frustrated a few times. How many ever times it takes you, you're going to become frustrated because you're going to be like, oh my God. And especially if you're really putting a lot of effort into healing, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I keep trying, I keep healing. And then I get set back and oh my God, I'm so frustrated. And you feel like, oh my God, my vibration's gone down. No, your vibration's not going to go down. Your vibration would go down if you didn't feel your feelings and you put them aside and didn't acknowledge them. Your vibration would steadily go down. That's where you find yourself in a state of disease and sickness, because you're not acknowledging yourself. You're not being true to yourself. You're not being real. You're not being honest. And so you need to, once you get your little diagnoses, as narcissist personality disorder, and then you go down and you see, narcissist does this and narcissist does that. There's so much of this stuff out there. That's like everybody wants to use them. Oh, well, they're borderline. Oh, well, that narcissist, you can't be with a narcissist. So you have to go, whatever your thing is. Everybody else is going to be down on you. So you can go in and make these changes for yourself. You can go in and see like, well, if I do this, I'm just not going to do that anymore. So, when you find yourself like you have a certain thing that you would automatically do, and it's like, oh, God, I want to do that, but I don't want to do it. So go into it deeper and see like, why do I want to do that? Why does it feel so strong, like an automatic response? Like, oh, I just got to do that. And, how is it so challenging to stop yourself? And that is where you got to see. You got to really acknowledge yourself for doing such a good job, for being aware, for starting to see your own trauma responses, your own autopilot, just trigger happy, just not thinking for yourself, just your responses that just come from the depths of hell that you leave burrowing away at your inside. So you got to, the more that you can find your dysfunctions, the more that you can, catch yourself, but just don't get down on yourself. It just seems like so many people just get down on themselves about everything. Like, oh, I'm not doing it fast enough. So there's not a timer set on you. It is, it's the journey, just like what I've said about confirmation, your window of time. That is your period of your journey. Like what are you supposed to do? Like you're supposed to finish it all and be all done with all your lessons, like, and then still stay alive. Like you're here for learning and growing and experiencing. As you're learning and growing, you're supposed to be enjoying the experience and having gratitude. And yet you have lessons that will happen, but once you start living from a spiritual perspective, the lessons won't impact you the same way. You won't have, you won't get all down and be all sad and burdened. You will feel like, this is what is supposed to happen. This is something I'm supposed to learn from. This is going to have a good outcome. This is going to take me in a new direction. Like it's just changing how you look at things. And then, I don't know. It just, bad things will continue to happen for people, but it's all in how you look at it. When you see the spiritual side of life, your purpose and why you're here. But anyways, so the people who are the seeders, they are going through all of these challenges and growing, and people are learning all sorts of different things because there's a lot of information that's going to be coming forward. A lot of people here to bring forth things into this new civilization, this new world. Like, I don't even know what the chosen thing is all about. Like, I don't know if that is, like, if there's, like, the chosen are coming to lead the people because the chosen are, like, if it's the same kind of thing. Like, I don't know, because I don't follow, like, all those people who talk about that stuff. So I'm not sure. I don't follow any of those people, the love and light people and stuff. As soon as I started seeing any people saying, like, you're not supposed to pay attention and don't talk about that and don't see that and you shouldn't think about that and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. That's a new kind of spirituality to me. It's not, well, at least for me, I'm somebody who pays attention to a lot of things, and I see things beyond what other people see, and I understand things. Like, I understand a lot of things that I don't know. I don't want to say I understand things that other people don't understand, because everybody has their own understanding. I fucking hope I understand my own things. So, but we all have our own understanding. But I would say I don't question a lot of things that I hear other people question. And so, You know, you can get yourself into a state of comfort in your understanding, you know, because to me, I'm real comfortable in my understanding. Like but that doesn't mean it doesn't take away every little fear or something. Like there's still, if I think about like, oh, shit can go down and the tree can fall on my house and crush us, it still gives me that like anxiety of like a tree falling down and crushing me. The whole little scenario playing out, that gives me anxiety. That kind of freaks me out. My mind still goes to those places. It still has those intrusive thoughts, dark thoughts. There was one I even told my daughter, because my one grandson, when I was watching him, and he's determined. He is going to scream. As soon as he sees you're not his mom or dad, he's pissed. And he'll scream and scream. They don't come. That pisses him off more. Both of them are so cute. The one is walking now. He's only 10 months old. He's potty training, walking. And then this other one, he is like a month and a half. Or no, I think he's 2 months. But they're the same size. And the one was even born a month early. But he's a little thug. But he gets so pissed. And so he was screaming and screaming and screaming, sitting on my lap. And, you know, those little intrusive thoughts, those little voices that come in. That's why you don't listen to them. You can't listen to them. Because they'll sit there and tell you, throw that baby against the wall. Just throw it. Shut it up. Throw it against the wall. You don't listen to it. And so I told my daughter, I said, oh, no, it's fine. You know, I'll just sit there and be like, oh, it's okay. You'll be okay. But in my mind, they're telling me, throw them against the wall. But I don't listen to the intrusive thoughts. But she's like, oh, yeah, I used to have that so bad, especially during the crying and stuff. But see, that's the thing. That's when they will come in and give you those intrusive thoughts. Because you are like, the anxiety, you know, baby keeps crying. It's getting you like that tense, that feeling. So that's their perfect little thing. And they want to feed into that energy. They want you. Oh, they'd like it if you just throw that baby across the wall. Like, there's intrusive thought monitors out there who are getting people to do the stuff that they tell them to do. And the people think, well, my brain told me to do it, so I guess I have to do it. It's like, no, that's the intrusive thoughts. That's the dark energy that is, you know, that feeds off of their parasitic energy, who feeds off of that stuff. Even though these people think those demons and devils and all of that stuff, it's just a way of looking at things. That it's 3D way of looking at things. Like if you were outside of this reality, if you were in your dead life, you would not refer to it like that. You would see it differently, because it makes things so much smaller here. Everything just is like no purpose, nothing. But anyways, I don't remember what the fuck I was saying, but I know you wouldn't look at it the same. It's just the only reason you look at it that way is because you are mind trapped in this reality. And so, but you can untrap your mind. But as you're untrapping your mind, you have to let go of all of these paradigms, all of these ways of that you've conformed in society, that you became programmed, that you thought were the way it was. You have to release all those, and it's a lot. That's why, you know, it's a long growth thing. It isn't short. It isn't like a quick thing, like you can hurry and do it and then you're all done. If you're all done, I would think like then you're probably on your way out because you're finished. So if you're here to learn and grow, like for the seeders, you should be going through the learning, growing, you know, changing the way you look at everything, changing your attitude, changing, you know, your priorities. It's, you know, you're making big changes to you. You're leaving an old world and preparing for a new one. And the people who are just leaving, you know, their vibration isn't going to be matching. Like there's going to be a lot of people, like a huge amount of homeless people. Like if this storm, like I don't even know. Like I think there's gonna be some shit that's gonna go down in New York this weekend, because they're expecting that storm Saturday. I don't even know if it's already hit in other parts. They've got so many hurricanes going, because there's the one over by the Mediterranean that hit Libya or whatever is Daniel, and over here it's called like Iris or something. I don't know. I think it's an I word. And so 2 big old hurricanes, they're wiping out places. But the New York thing, if they wipe out like a shit ton of homeless people, and then if they're bringing all these migrants in right now, are they going to put them on the streets too and wipe them out? Or are they going to put those guys up in buildings with all their stuff and then leave all the citizens down there in the streets and then wipe them out? Whatever it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of souls. They're all going to be leaving at once. It's going to keep doing that. And you know, there's a whole big reason why it's going on like that. But to me, you're going to be uncomfortable if you're not doing your healing. Not everybody's here for this whole thing. And some of these souls are probably coming from way higher and coming way down. And they're just uncomfortable and want out, and they're leaving and going back. But that doesn't mean they're going to be stuck in, like, don't think because these people are leaving before the ascension that they're stuck now in 3D. They're stuck in hell. They're stuck. No, because your soul has its own vibration separate from this place. You don't vibrate in this low of a vibration. You come down into this low vibration. That's why we even have to be birthed into it, to go into it through, to experience it, because your vibration is way higher than this. And so you vibrate higher than this just regularly. And so don't think like, well, all these people are dying and, you know, my sister died and all that stuff. And it was before the ascension. Now they're stuck. They're never going to get out of 3D. That's not true. They leave. They're going back to their own places. Some people are leaving and going to the age of Aquarius. They can already go into that reality. And there's people who are already there seeding it. They're already there establishing things and stuff. So, like, I don't know, you know, just like everything is so separate here, you know. Once we start going, there's going to be places, just like when they discovered America and there was already tribes there. There's going to be places where there's already going to be people. Like it's not going to just be like, man, that is weird. Because I've thought that this whole time, this is kind of like, to what we all think of death, that the whole thing is kind of going to seem like that. Because even if we go into our light bodies, but we stay in our conscious state of being, and the vibration changes, and then we are our own selves. But then the people who are already in their light bodies can come and interact with us, because we're moving into that kind of state of being, of the higher, of our normal state of being. So it's like we're going into our regular state of being, rather than just being in this, birthed into this like glove thing. Or like that was like a way that we could experience in the realm. But then as this changes, and we don't need that glove thing, and we go into our light body thing, but see, we still would look the same, because we're still representing ourselves the same. But then the people, but see, it's like the earth, like whatever's going to go on It is going to be this shifting like realms, shifting this, man, I don't know how to explain that. Because it's like, I can see like this like vibration thing, but it's shifting. It shifts like, man, I don't know how to explain that. There's so many things, like, no matter even how I explain it, it doesn't do the same as the pictures part. But so the shifting, the planet is like shifting. And then like those of us who are healing and stuff, we're shifting with it. And so that vibration, we're shifting, that is like this releasing our like flesh and blood concept, that flesh and blood idea, all these concepts of this 3D world, releasing that kind of thing. That is the shifting it. But it is like, it's kind of like, just like the same thing, like what I said with this, like the honeycomb and the realities, and how it's like there's these different portals of like weak spots, and how like it seems like in my hallway there's like this whole, like, I don't know, like a marketplace going on. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it is like the shifting, because you can't like there's realities happening in the same places, like, but it's at different vibrations, at different frequencies, like of how, yeah, that's weird. Because like if you were to take like Egypt, if all things are happening at the same time all the time, because there is no real time, all things are happening, then all of the history, everything that has ever happened in Egypt, that to the reality in the layers that we're in, to us, we look at it as it's old. It happened a long time ago because there's this debris. But in the same area, to us that we see debris, those people are still living. It's just in this other realm. It is in this other like space and time, but it's like they're in the same place. So it's weird. And so then as we're shifting out of this control, like we're leaving the dollhouse of this 3D reality, then as it's shifting, then these other people who are already outside of this reality, outside of their bodies, it all depends on what their souls are doing, because some like go back to their home place, some maybe won't go anywhere. But there is a whole thing going on with this new earth thing where it's already like inhabited. It's already like the people who are dying or something, they already go there and inhabit it. And then as we are coming in, I don't know how all the timing goes, but it's like these realities merging. It's like they can be right here next to us just doing their own thing, but they're in a different vibration, so we don't hear each other or see each other. But the vibrations are changing, so it's getting more closer. And that's why like we can start seeing and hearing and stuff more, because of this changing of how these are getting more closer in like the same space. So it's like this merging of like, I wonder if, I mean, there's supposed to be this whole thing of time travel. Well, we got all these people coming back saying they're time travelers, and that they say like around 2028 that we start doing time traveling, which would make sense with all of the all of this new what is that called, the technology and shit that has been hidden. It's part of the Nisargasara, is like 6,000 patents, a whole lot of Tesla stuff. in the free energy and all of that stuff. Everything that they've been holding back. And to me, all those robots at that football game, that's like a soft open. That the technology is way more advanced. Even the clone Tyrone, which I didn't see it. I've talked to a couple other people and they're like, oh, I didn't like it that much. And then other people saying, oh, it's so truthful. So I don't know, but everything is kind of like this soft open into the truth behind the technology and the science. And so there's like a lot of like this soft open, you know, for these conversations to start changing and for people to start seeing things that they hadn't seen or understanding things that they hadn't understood. So all of that stuff, you know, that is going on. But what was I going to say? Because the technology, oh yeah, because in the Sargasar thing, because the money thing, and so that's like written in the stars, this money collapsing is supposed to be happening. I sure hope it does really happen over the next few weeks. Fuck. It's going to be such a good thing in a right direction. Is that it's going to be the government's going to go collapse like right after, because they're going to blame it on Joe, the money collapsing. So everything is going to fall on Joe. No, I don't know. They're already starting all this impeachment shit. But I don't know. Maybe it seems like the easiest way is just to have him collapse or something. I don't know how it's all going to play out. We'll just have to see. Because there's so much. I mean, even all these people running around in masks and stuff. Like, there's so many people that's going to seem like a big slap in the face, because they're going to be like, well, we were being tricked. It's like, well, we were trying to tell you you were being tricked the whole time. So it's going to feel like, fuck, it's going to feel hard on a lot of people when this goes down. So, you know, remember to have empathy and compassion. That is where, you know, you've got to find those parts of yourself. But definitely don't be fucking just thinking that the crystals are not magic. They have their own powers, but they're not going to heal your trauma from when you were a child. The things that make you feel crazy, the things that drive other people crazy, that's not going to just heal because the vibration on the planet is changing. Your anxiety, unless you are, you know, if you're doing all of your healing, and because like I'm doing my healing, I've been doing it for years and years and years. Like I don't hold back on it. So when I get some kind of anxiety, I know it's not my own anxiety. Like I'm aware of my own mind, body, spirit. When I hear somebody else say, you know, I'm having anxiety, and they're having things come up, but it's not their anxiety. It's like I don't understand how people are looking at, like I'm not in that whole indoctrination, this spiritual love and light, chosen, don't look at this, the planet's doing it for you. And then still, you know, using chemicals and using diagnoses and yeah, if you're on this spiritual journey, you're going to want to be getting rid of your, you know, don't attach yourself to diagnoses and labels and shit. That's this 3D world. How are you leaving it if you're holding on to it? Like, so anyways, I mean, there's just so, like I've said, like the hypocrisy is really rearing its head. Like you're really starting to see the hypocrisy, you know, like I've said for so long, like I've been able to see through people. I can see, you know, there's just so much hypocrisy. There's so much and the reason it's so live is because everybody just wants to see this one side of themselves. They don't want to see this other side of themselves. And they don't even think it exists because they're so busy telling everybody else that it's their fault for making them feel this way. It's like nobody can make you feel any way. The feeling is inside of you and something triggered that feeling. If you don't like that feeling, you don't want that feeling in you, then you need to do the process to release that feeling. You got to go through the trail, the rabbit hole to find, where did this feeling come from? Why do I have this feeling? And it may lead you into places that make you feel crazy. It could lead you to some past life. And you think, okay, well, I'm crazy. There's no even such thing as that. And, you know, that's your paradigms. That's your process. That's your indoctrination that you've got to break through. And your soul wants you to do it. You know, your soul's there for you. But you got to start listening to it, you know. It's a whole process. There's so much to this process. I don't understand how anybody can sit here and think like, you know, you're supposed to have it done in a year. You're supposed to have it done in 2 years, you know, and that they feel that they're taking steps back if something happens. Like, this is a long journey. Like, you have a whole lifetime. Your path to enlightenment, they give you a lifetime to go and, you know, journey towards yourself. So don't think like, well, you had to have it all done, you know, in a couple of weeks. You know, you have to have it done in a year or two. No, there will be things like just when I was just at that weekend thing. And just seeing some of those patterns and just certain things that, you know, would bring back, like, one thing, you know, when you're with somebody who uses arrogance as their shield so that they can, you know, it's kind of like, you know, if you go out arrogant enough, then nobody's going to question you. So, you know, it's like a safe place to be or something. And, but then, you know, when I put it together, you know, like, I was an imbecile, you know, I didn't have anything to say, you know, and better off you just sit over there and don't say too much and, you know, have the same interest as me and all that kind of thing. Like, this whole, like, taking over of me, which I could see. And even when I could see it when it was happening, I'd argue about it, but still I wasn't, you know, I had to leave. I had to leave. I had to know this isn't good for me. And, you know, that was a whole giant thing. But back then, you know, he would always be bragging about me to other people. Like, everything I did was the best. I did this the best. I did that the best. Me, his wife. His wife was the best cook, though. His wife was the best at this, the best class. So fucking perfect. This woman is so fucking perfect. She's your ideal person. So how do you think other people then would treat me? Well, and I, you know, I don't even think I mean, like, I could see it back then. I could see that caused a problem. But I don't know. I just, it was just weird this weekend, all of a sudden, just have like these epiphanies to just see things and be like, oh, that is why they would act like that to me. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. Like, fuck, you're going around and just keep on saying this person's so perfect. And it's so weird because at home, you're telling this person that they're the most imperfect thing in the whole entire world. But to everybody else, it was like, oh, because it was all about them. They had to have they're perfect. They got to have the perfect wife. They got to tell everybody. And so then it would turn people against me. Like, that oh, well, you know, well, perfect Kelly, you know, Kelly's Miss Perfect. Well, if we could just do it as good as Kelly, it's like, what the hell? I'm not even doing anything. So, yeah, it's weird. It's just weird, like, our things, these patterns, these, you know, but, you know, to me, so much makes so much sense when you start seeing, you go through these different relationships and the things that happen here, you grow from that. The things that happen here, you grow from that. And you are changing all the time. You're developing. That is your life. These people coming into your life and teaching you, that is your life. That is your experience. That's not you doing something wrong. That's not you being dysfunctional or broken. That is you learning who you are, going through the experience. And so that is supposed to be a part of the experience. You're supposed to go through that. You're supposed to go through it and then get to that part And like, what did I learn? What did I get out of this? How have I changed? What has grown about me? What more do I have to offer the world? What more compassion and empathy have I got now? So it is this expansion. So anyways, I'm totally like an hour and a half. What time is it? 3:55. Maybe I'll hurry and get this downloaded before Me23 gets up. And so it'll already be there for him. But so out of the 2 people who have given me feedback, Me23 likes it, likes me to go live because the video's there in the morning. Then, but then the other feedback is that the videos aren't just right there with all the other videos. So it's extra work to go look for the video. And some people don't even know that those videos are there. So now, anybody else who wants to give any feedback over, you know, if you prefer the live ones or the not live ones, because definitely there's not enough people, you know, that to go live where everybody can go in, you know, like in 2020 when I was going on those ones, where there were so many people and it was live and there would be tons of people where people could go in and talk and chat, and that was really fun. But, you know, it's not like that. So I don't know if it really makes that much difference. To me, you know, I know I'll get over the thing going live, the awkwardness, because, you know, you just keep doing something and you get better at it. You just, whatever it is, you know, just keep doing it. And so anyways, you know, just let me know what you think. I don't even know, like, I feel like I've just been rambling and rambling. But seriously, over the working stuff, over the healing, you have got to be the one. You've got to be your own counselor, your own advocate. You've got to be your own doctor. You've got to be your own everything. You've got to go through you. You've got to figure you out. So, you know, your body, whatever medical issues, you know, you got to figure out what those are. What can you do about those? Which I'm telling you, these fucking things are crawling around in my goddamn eyes. And the other day something happened, and I think that these black things that I see in my eyes, I swear to God, they're the little bot things. I swear to God. And let me think, what was... So anyways, just just this whole spiritual movement, this whole religion thing is just there to put you off, to control you, control your spirit and stuff. You've got to recognize these things. And there is nobody there that is going to save you or do the work for you. Nobody can. Even if somebody wanted to, they can't. Nobody can have your consequences or your successes except for you. You're the only one who gets to experience them. You're the one who has to work for them. You're the one who has to challenge yourself. You're the one who has to do all the work. So don't be sitting back and thinking, you know, well, as long as I know I'm fucking borderline, bipolar, neurodivergent, ADHD, schizophrenic, all, you know, all those are diagnosed, all those are 3-dimensional concepts. All, you know, so, I mean, that's why, like, this new spirituality is like 3D spirituality. It's like, well, how do I stay spiritual and fit into this 3D world? How do I make this 3D world become a spiritual world for me or something? Like, if I manifest, if I don't know, it's way different. Manifesting is way different. Everything that I hear people talk about is way different. And I've been living it. I'm not just coming out and just all of a sudden, you know, realize it. Like, I've been living this way for a long ass time. Like, I've been manifesting, just like that suit thing. Like, I had already put that out there and told them, you know, I wanted a plaid suit. And I had, like, it's a whole interaction. It's a whole thing. You just tell them what you want. I do it all the time. And then they bring me the stuff that I want. Those are little things. when people start getting into this, well, I'm going to manifest $1 million. I'm going to manifest being famous. I'm going to manifest a mansion and shit like that. The reason why you get a mansion, the reason why you get $1 million, the reason why any of the things, what you look like, every fucking thing has to do with what you're here to learn. And so getting the $1 million is because there was lessons. There was karmic things. There's a whole thing to it. It isn't just like you come into this world, you're just birthed in by accident. There's no purpose. There's no destiny. There's no nothing. You're just here and you're just trying to outsmart the Grim Reaper. It's like, fuck. It's just so different. So different. So anyways, I don't know. I'm going to stop talking because I'm coming. It's frustrating to see how different that people think this world is from what it really is. And they're all just like, man, it's going to be nice when the numbers start turning and people start seeing. And, you know, when I start having conversations where it's not just like, okay, that's weird. I don't know why you're thinking about that. Okay, weird beliefs, weird way to think of things. When people start having conversations and it's like, we're talking about it. We're talking about these things. So anyways, we'll just see how it goes. So I'm going to hurry and try and get this on there for you, Bill, me 23. I don't want to disappoint you. And anybody else who wants to leave me any feedback over the videos, if this whole thing, because to me, mine, when I go on and look, it looks very different than what you guys see. So, you know, I don't know. It just looks different. And it even keeps telling that I have a scheduled live coming up. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't even know where that came from. I must have pushed something by accident or something. I don't even know. But so I was thinking, that's another thing. If you want to leave feedback, and I scheduled a live, you know, still because of time thing. I know everybody's got weird time things, but if people wanted me to schedule a live, you know, put in a time that is good for you and what time area you're in, and I can try and figure that out. So anyways, just leave me some feedback or whatever, and I will talk to you later.